So the Deshaun Watson trade sweepstakes derby is like making everyone nuts. And I love it, man, because we don't get this excitement. Like franchise quarterbacks in their prime, not even in his prime, just like starting to scratch the surface of his prime, they don't get traded. Right? So every single team in the league who doesn't have the man should be considered themselves in the derby, right? So Bill Barnwell, ESPN, wrote up the 17 most likely trade destinations for Deshaun Watson. Now the Vikings ranked 10th, which is a lot higher than I actually expected, given that the Vikings are tethered to Kirk Cousins, and Kirk, respect, played phenomenal last year after the bye. I think the Vikings can actually get something done with him in 2021 if they can protect him and if the defense and special teams get in order. But I mean, it's Deshaun Watson, right? And Barnwell constructed a three-way trade involving the Patriots since, a straight-up trade, Kirk Cousins and some picks for Deshaun Watson. Probably ain't going to happen since I think Houston wants to blow it up and start over. No, Kirk Cousins goes to a team that wants to win now, given Kirk's age. And I think that the Patriots are definitely in that mold where they're going to probably be out of the range of the top quarterbacks. Maybe even Mac Jones will be gone by the time the Patriots draft at 15. So I could see why Kirk Cousins could be potentially attractive to a guy like Belichick. And, he sees Brady go somewhere else and potentially win a Super Bowl. Then Bill Belichick's like, I'll show you what, Brady. I'm going to win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins, which would actually count as like 3 Super Bowls. Base. All right, so here's what Barnwell constructed. Vikings send 14 and 90 overall in 2021, 2022 first-round pick, 2023 first-round pick to the Texans, and Kirk Cousins to the Patriots. So they're basically giving up 3 ones and a third, and Kirk Cousins for Deshaun, which, man, it's steep. It's steep, but it would be tempting, especially since those late first-round picks, those first-round picks are going to be late in 2022 and 2023. Potentially 32 overall in both seasons. Texans send a 4th-round pick. Rebate in 2023. We got to wait a while. And Deshaun to the Vikings. And then the Patriots send a 5th-round pick and blah, blah, blah. And Jarrett Stidham to the Texans. Okay. Yeah, okay. So basically it's a Yankee swap. Stidham to the Texans and some picks. A whole bunch of draft picks go down to Houston. Nick Cassero getting things done. Of course, Cassero, former Patriot guy. Him and Belichick go way back like chiroprac. And yeah, maybe it could get done. Here's what Barnwell wrote about the deal. Quote, if the Vikings want to get out of Cousins' 2-year, $68 million extension and make a massive upgrade at the quarterback with Watson, it's going to cost them the full freight price of 3 first-round picks. They'll also have to swap a 3rd-rounder in 2021 for a 4th-rounder, blah, 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 2 years from now. Texans would come away with 3 first-rounders, although none of them would be higher than the 14th overall selection. Face. New Houston general manager Nick Cassero would also take a flyer on Stidham, who got a handful of snaps in garbage time for the Patriots last season. Minnesota would free up $11 million cap space by trading Cousins and getting away from his 2022 salary, which would guarantee on the 3rd day of the new league year. Well, no, that's his 2020. And pencil in Cousins for a $45 million cap in 2022. Vikings would likely need to give Cousins another extension or add voidable years to mitigate that cap number. Trading him would mean the Patriots would have Cousins on the books for $21 million in 2021 and $35 in 2022. That's a tad more what he would get as a free agent. Although New England is in a position where it probably would prefer to lock in a high floor at quarterback. So, frankly, even though I've sort of given myself into understanding, like, okay, so the Vikings, they've tied themselves with Spielman and Zimmer and Kirk Cousins together. That's going to be the holy triumvirate, the triangle of authority going forward. And like I said earlier, I think the Vikings can get something done in 2021 where Kirk, if he's protected, he's got those weapons, and that's been the knock against him. Everything needs to be perfect, but things are almost perfect with Kirk in this spot. You can win games. You can potentially win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins at QB, but if you have a chance to get Deshaun, now these last couple months and the whole cryptic social media, and maybe Vikings fans are sort of tired of that after we went through the Diggs thing, but I don't think that is who Deshaun really is. I think that he is a phenomenal leader of men. I think he's an extremely high-end quarterback. I think that he is quickly on his way to being a top 5 guy. And as Barnwell pointed out, the Vikings' 2021 salary cap hit, they actually free up cap space because Deshaun is only due about $10 million and change as his base salary in 2021. That's all the Vikings have to take onto their books. Kirk would have been 21 plus 2022. Both of them are locked in at $35 million. So, okay, for slightly cheaper, do you want Deshaun, even though you do have to give up a bunch of draft picks and potentially late first-round picks for Kirk Cousins? Trading a guy who's 6 years younger and debatably quite a bit better. It's tough. It would be a tough scenario, but as Barnwell points out, I think it would take a third team because the straight up Deshaun for Kirk swap ain't going to happen. But I mean, if the Vikings and the Patriots and the Texans can get on the phone, Spielman with the two, with Belichick and the former New England guy Caserio, make it happen. I mean, maybe. I mean, would all three teams be happy with this? I mean, Caserio, gets his draft picks back that they gave away in the Tunsil trade, plus gets an additional first in each of the next 2 years. It's going to be a late first, but that's whatever. Plus, he takes a flyer on Jarrett Stidham, the pride of Auburn, who's the Patriots get back into win now mode, and Kirk Cousins actually gets protected by a decent offensive line because even though they're probably going to lose Joe Thuney, New England, even though Dante Scarnecchia has been long retired, like they always consistently churn out good offensive lines, no matter who's out there, right? And then the Vikings get Deshaun friggin' Watson with Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook, baby. I think I talked myself into it. I think I'm in. You son of a B, I'm in. And then just do whatever, draft a guard, rebuild that defense. It's whatever. But hell, if we have to score 60 a game, let's go do it. Let's go. Beer thoughts. Vikings 3-way trade. ESPN suggested for Deshaun Watson. Woo! Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.